Welcome back students in our new video with our continuation subject History Standard 7th Chapter number 9 The Maratha War of Independence. Students, this is our third video of this lesson. Our first point of this lesson, Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. So let's learn about Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. He was the second son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He was born on 24th February 1670 on Raigad. He became Chhatrapati after the death of Sambhaji Maharaj. Now Aurangzeb thought that his dream of winning the Maratha kingdom would be realized. He sent Zulfikar Khan to put Raigad under siege. That time Rajaram Maharaj and his wife Maharani Tarabai and Sambhaji Maharaj's wife Maharani Yesubai and his son Shahu were on Raigad. It was risky for all members of the royal family to stay at one place. Maharani Yesubai tackled this unprecedented calamity very bravely, resolving that she would not surrender to the Mughals under any conditions. She took many important political decisions on Raigad. It was decided that Rajaram Maharaj should escape from Raigad and if necessary go to a far off place like Jinji. It was decided that the fight to defend Raigad would continue under the leadership of Maharani Yesubai. Maharani Yesubai chose to make Rajaram Maharaj and not her own son the Chhatrapati. Her decision is a shining example of her love for Swaraj and her extreme selflessness. She kept the Maratha Chhatrapati secure without regard for her own life or that of her son. Okay, students, let's learn more about Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. As he was born on 14th February 1670. He was the second son of Maratha ruler Shivaji Maharaj and younger half-brother of Sambhaji Maharaj. He took over the Maratha Empire as its third Chhatrapati after his brother's death at the hands of Aurangzeb in 1689. His 11-year reign was marked with a constant struggle against the Mughals. Rajaram Maharaj was born in a family of Bhosle clan to Shivaji Maharaj and his younger wife Soirabai, that we have known. He was 13 years younger than his brother Sambhaji Maharaj. Given the ambitious nature of Soirabai, Rajaram was installed on the Maratha throne upon the death of his father in 1680. However, the Maratha generals wanted Sambhaji Maharaj as the king and thus he claimed the throne. Upon Sambhaji's death, Rajaram was crowned as Chhatrapati of the Maratha state. Okay students, now let's learn more about personal life of Rajaram Maharaj. Rajaram Maharaj married 3 times. His first marriage was at the age of 10 to Janki Bai, the 5-year-old daughter of Shivaji's army chief Pratap Rao Guzar. Means she was a daughter of Pratap Rao Guzar who was working in Shivaji Maharaj's army. as a chief. His second wife was Tarabai. She was a daughter of Hambirao Mohite, the army chief who succeeded Pratap Rao. And his third wife name was Rajasbai from the influential Ghadke family of Kagal. Rajaram Maharaj had three sons. Raja Karna, born out the wedlock to a slave woman. Second Shivaji Maharaj with Tarabai and Sambhaji Maharaj second with Rajasbai. After the death of Sambhaji Maharaj, Rajaram Maharaj was crowned at Raigad on 12th March 1689. As the Mughals started laying siege to the region around Raigad on 25th March 1689, the widow of Sambhaji Maharaj, Maharani Yesubai, and her minister Ramachandra Pant Amatya sent young Rajaram to the stronghold of Pratapgarh through Kavlya Ghat. The Maratha army fought with the Mughals and led the new Maratha king Rajaram to escape through Kavlya Ghat to the fort of Jinji. In present-day state of Tamil Nadu, via Pratapgarh and Vishalgarh forts, Rajaram Maharaj reached Keradi near present-day Sagar in Karnataka. In disguise and sought refuge from Keladi Chennamma, the brave Kannada queen, fought the Mughals and ensured safe passage and escape of Rajaram Maharaj to Jinji, where he reached after a month and a half on 1st November 1689. Keladi Chennamma fought the jungle warfare which frustrated the Mughals, and the Mughals proposed peace according for the first time with an Indian ruler, Keladi Chennamma. Now let's see next point. Rajaram Maharaj leaves for Jinji. On 5th April 1689, Rajaram Maharaj escaped from the besieged Raigad with a few of his associates. He decided to go south to Jinji. The Jinji fort was invisible. It was not an easy task for the Mughals to capture this fort. Rajaram Maharaj took his faithful Sardars like Prahlad Nirji, Khando Ballal, Ropaji Bhosle and managed to reach Jinji. Students, this is Jinji fort, which is very difficult to capture. This fort was invisible. It was not an easy task to capture this fort to the Mughals. Next point is the movements of the Marathas. It was very difficult to defend the Raigad fort against the might of the Mughals. The Mughals captured Raigad in November 1689 and arrested Maharani Yesubai and Shahu. While going to Jinji, Rajaram Maharaj had assigned the duty to fight against the Mughals to Ramachandra Pant Amatya, Shankarji Narayan Sachiv, Santaji Ghorpade and Dhanaji Jadhav. From the Maratha point of view, the situation was critical. Aurangzeb had enticed many Maratha Sardars to his side by giving them watans and jagirs. Rajaram Maharaj also used the same tactics to thwart the Mughal plans. It was promised that if a Maratha Sardar captured Mughal territory, it would be given to him as a Jagir. Due to this promise, many capable Maratha Sardars came forward. They started invading the Mughal territory with vigor and defeated Mughal generals. Santaji and Dhanaji were at the forefront in these actions. Against their surprise attacks and guerrilla tactics, the enormous amount of war material and heavy artillery of the Mughals were of little use. The Mughal forces were at their wits' end. On one occasion, Santaji Ghorpade and Vithoji Chauhan even cut and carried away the golden pinnacle of the emperor's own tent in a surprise attack. Okay, now see, Rajaram Maharaj occupied the fort at Jinji from 11th November 1689, but left before it fell in 1698, setting up his court at Fort Satara. During that period, when Jinji remained unconquered, the intrepid Maratha commanders Santaji Ghorpade and Dhanaji Zadha wrought havoc in the Karnataka and Maharashtra by defeating the Mughal generals and cutting off their lines of communication. Now let's turn to next point, Siege of Jinji. Once Raigad was captured, the emperor sent Zulfikar Khan to the south on the campaign of Jinji. He laid siege to the fort of Jinji. The Marathas defended the fort bravely for nearly 8 years. The Mughal forces engaged in the siege were fiercely attacked from outside by Santaji and Dhanaji. Rajaram Maharaj escaped through the siege and returned to Maharashtra. Later, Zulfikar Khan captured the fort of Jinji. The return of Rajaram Maharaj to Maharashtra gave a boost to the Maratha activity. The Marathas attacked the Mughal territories of Khandesh, Warad and Baglan. Rajaram Maharaj inspired hundreds of brave Maratha warriors like Santaji and Dhanaji with his understanding nature and statesmanship. He motivated them to protect the Swaraj and thus performed a very valuable task. But even as all this was taking place, Rajaram Maharaj died on 2nd March 1700 on Sinhagad after a short period of illness. Rajaram Maharaj was thoughtful and kind-hearted person. He brought together all the capable people in the Maratha Empire. He united them, created a new enthusiasm amongst them. After the death of Sambhaji Maharaj, he fought against Aurangzeb for 11 years with great courage and tenacity. Rajaram Maharaj's greatest achievement is that he protected Swaraj in those extremely difficult times. While describing Rajaram Maharaj, noted historian Riyasatkar G.S. Sardesai has used the adjective Sthira Buddhi, means level-headed, He cannot be described in better words than these. Okay, now see, Aurangzeb deputed Ghazi Uddin Firoz jung against the Marathas in the Deccan, and especially sent Zulfikar Khan Nusrat Jung to capture the Jinji fort. He laid siege to it in September 1690. After 3 failed attempts, it was finally captured after 7 years on 8th January 1698. Rajaram Maharaj, however, escaped and fled first to Vellore and later to Vishalgarh. Okay, then Rajaram Maharaj died of lung disease in 1700 at Sinhgarh near Pune in Maharashtra, leaving behind widows and infants. Janki Bai, one of his widows, committed sati upon Rajaram's death. Another of Rajaram's widows, Tarabai, proclaimed her young son, Shivaji II, as the Chhatrapati and ruled as his regent. However, the release of Shahu by the successors of Aurangzeb led to an internecine conflict between Tarabai and Shahu, with the latter becoming the winner and occupant of the throne. Tarabai established a separate seat at Kolhapur and installed her son as the rival Chhatrapati. She was shortly deposed by Rajasbai, the other surviving widow of Rajaram. Rajasbai installed the other son of Rajaram called Sambhaji II on the Kolhapur throne. The Kolhapur line has continued to this day through natural succession and adoptions per Hindu custom. Students, here we have got detailed information about Bhosle family. So I hope you have understood this video. We'll see in next video. Till then, thank you.